Gotta get myself a more powerful lighter. Or maybe the tenderness of this lighter invites me to be present with lighting the Palo Santo instead of just torching it half to death. So, just cleansing the energy, mostly for the purpose of supporting grounding and supporting this experience to be an earthly one as well as a spiritual one. So my intention with the Palo Santo is to create balance and grounding and calming. If I could send you the smell through the screen, I would, but the intention is there. So now that I'm full of ash on my legs, let's begin. So hello, welcome to Soul Freedom Harmony. My name is Lois, and today we are talking about a very interesting topic. It is the topic of accidentally putting two opposing spiritual teachings against each other, and how that can create risks and dangers and conflict, and also the solutions. Not to worry, I'm not just going to dump a load of issues onto you and then leave you in the shit. I am going to provide my solutions and experience. So just before we get into it, I'd like to take a few deep breaths to just really arrive and ground into the space, into the moment, into the body, into the being. So if you'd like to join me, we'll breathe and then begin. So breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth at a pace that feels good to you. And invite a little bit of a slowing down and deepening. Let's go. Breathing. Breathing. Breath, body, gentle relaxation, opening, and let's begin. So I am just going to say that I have some notes down there just because it's quite extensive what I have prepared, and as a way to support my mind to be cooperative in this experience, I feel that it's supportive to me to have these notes. So I'm gonna use some notes. I'm cheating, but it's a way that's inclusive for every part of me. So I should have some glasses on so that I look like a librarian. One sec. Why the fuck not? So the risks of accidentally putting opposite teachings against one another. So the risks with doing this is that if there's a specific ideology, modality, or teaching, and it's something that you really love, that's beautiful, that's perfect. But if this is idolized to the extent of demonizing its opposite, then this is at risk of causing a conflict and also an exclusion and a pendulum swing. So we're going to discuss individual examples to make this become clearer, but I'm just briefly explaining the concepts and then we'll get deep into examples. So we're going to go into the dangers of this happening in individual situations, like specific situations, and then we're also going to get into solutions that can apply to each of these specific situations. So the solutions include inclusivity and meeting the needs of every part, and flowing between modalities, and even finding a third option that meets the needs of everything, like a win-win scenario. So the clearest way to bring this floating wisdom into a tangible place is to begin with an example. So the concept of self-improvement versus accepting yourself. So when it comes to, for example, idolizing self-acceptance, this is amazing to accept yourself, but a natural part of us as human beings is evolution and change. So self-acceptance to the exclusion of self-improvement or like natural evolution and change is causing a conflict inside between both of these aspects of us, because we have both of these aspects inside. We have a need for unconditional acceptance, and we also have a need for a feeling of forward motion, for achieving, for evolving, for changing. We cannot help but change. And also, if we have too much focus on this change aspect, we can begin to think there is something wrong with the way that we are. So being too stuck in just accepting everything the way that it is can cut you off from expansion and forward movement. And being too focused on change and forward movement can make you feel like there's something wrong with you, and it can cut you off from self-acceptance. I think I'm going to save the glasses for when I'm reading. A solution for this conflict between accepting yourself the way that you are and evolution and self-improvement and natural change and proactivity is, drum roll please, finding an approach that recognizes that you have a need for both of these things inside of you and flowing between them, like recognizing in this moment, is it a moment where I need to just be the way that I am and like connect with unconditionality, love myself, meet my needs? Or is it a moment where I feel that some forward movement is going to inspire me and is going to help me to feel good about myself in a healthy way? Or is this going to be a moment for a third option, where perhaps I'm doing something productive that supports me to accept myself? Like, for example, I'm doing a journaling exercise about everything that I like about myself. So what I'm bringing in here as a concept that's a solution for what we're generally talking about in this video is inclusivity consciousness. It's like I have an aspect inside of me that needs this, and I have an aspect inside of me that needs this. They're both a part of me. What does this one need and what does this one need? And how can I find harmony between them? Or even how can I bring them both together and do something that is inclusive and in alignment with all of who I am? Yeah, the next example that I've got is slightly similar, but it's like more on an emotional and manifestational level. So there is this healing modality of like healing and like processing, emotional healing, ancestral work, shadow work, all of these kinds of things. And then there is on the other side, positive focus, proactive productivity, manifestation. And it's like to have too much of a focus always on healing. Healing is amazing, of course, it's super important, but to have too much focus on this to the exclusion of creating what you want and having experiences that are more just about living them rather than like reliving them is like missing out on a part of life. And also to have this experience of like being go, go, go all the time is not allowing the part of you that needs to slow down and needs to heal. So it's possible to spend some time meeting the needs of the part of you that needs the healing and the gentleness and the techniques and things like this, and the part of you that needs to move and create and to manifest and to have new experiences. this is the inclusivity of meeting the needs of both parts. It's also possible to find a third solution, which is that you're doing something that supports your healing and is productive and proactive. For example, creating content can very much be this for me. I can create content where I'm focusing on healing, like my ASMR, and it's also supporting me with forward movement and manifestation. It's like finding a symbiosis between the parts and what they need, because to bring it back to the broader perspective of the video, it's like if this exists inside of me and so does this, and I am completely this and not that, then space is being created, but not the kind of space which is like spacious. Space which is like a split, a separation, an idolization and a demonization, an avoidance and a dependence, a conflict. Like the movement between here is looking like this. This one's not going to be quiet just because you tell it doesn't matter. And this one, how do you feel? How are you feeling right now? I need a rest. I need you to take a turn. It's like, yeah. So let's take some breaths. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, just allowing the information to settle. Like it's okay if you're processing in your mind. It's also good to include the body and the breath and the emotions. Breathe. And the being, and just allow yourself to be with the totality of who you are, to expand and contract naturally, to balance and to recalibrate. So another example that I'm going to use, I don't know what this is in this moment, but it's like something that I see can be super tricky, is this teaching of like, who I am is the being and the soul. And on the other side, I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not the emotions, I am not a human, I am a soul. And it's like, there is some truth in this on some level, and it's a super important part. Oh, something important that I need to say is that sometimes going through a phase of being with the opposite, like being with each one, is super important. Like, it's to be careful here not to actually demonize the experience of going through these polar opposites or being in a pendulum. It's completely okay and it's completely natural. What I'm sharing is a possibility of like a new stage where we can begin to recognize how we can soften it and bring harmony and new possibilities. So like a new way. So anyway, who I am versus who I am not. I am this and I am not that. It's like I am the soul and I am not the ego. So what can happen here is like too much being with the being to the exclusion of the human, temporal, physical aspects of us can lead to like a dissociation and a disconnection from life, from the body that you have, from all of the amazing things that are contained inside the human aspect. But too much of being in this like contracted state of self is excluding the whole being and the connection with everything. And so the possibility is to recognize that in this moment, the way that I am experiencing is in this human being perspective, where I have a temporal human aspect with a mind, a body, emotions, preferences, desires, sensations, and I also have and am this being who is expansive, who is spacious, who is more so in silence, whereas maybe when they come together and we recognize that we are all of that in at least this time-space reality, that's how the majority of us are experiencing. No, I can speak for myself, but like, we have the possibility to be a human being that's inclusive of the soul and everything wonderful that your unique individual human perspective has. Like, yes, my soul is amazing, and Lois is amazing. I love to be all of who I am, because if I exclude this, it's coming with consequences of being disconnected from my emotions, not able to connect with people in as deep of a way, not able to use my mind in the ways that it has positive aspects also. And then too much of this is not allowing me to expand, not allowing me to completely access my creativity. And so the third way is to recognize that every single aspect of what we are has beautiful strengths and information and importance and has a place. And it's possible to begin to calibrate and to meet the needs and allow space for every single part of me, of you. So it brings me on to the next example, which is love and authority, because it's like how to navigate that expanded, integrated sense of self. Well, between love and authority, there is a balance. And love supports authority to be tender and to reach the other. Authority supports love to respect itself and the other. And so having both of these working in a harmony can support a beautiful discernment. Whereas when one is working without the other, love might become a pushover and authority might become a dictator. But together, they can be a really powerful leader, a really powerful focus, a really powerful discernment, a really powerful advocate and extension of trust. A really powerful channel for trust, because what is happening, at least in me, is that when I'm experiencing seeing these aspects of myself and then also beginning to see myself as a whole and that I need many things, how am I navigating it with trust through experimentation, through making mistakes, learning from them, trying over again, through unconditionality, through acceptance, through sometimes a bit of drive and like a little bit of go energy, like just whatever is needed in the moment. And this is coming through experience and patience and time, healing, crying, support, laughing, experiencing. It's coming naturally. It's a process that we're naturally in. It's like we're naturally unfolding and expanding, as well as able to be present in the moment, as well as able to heal what has happened. We are in an important moment where the things that are happening through us have the possibility to reach others and to support the world in its natural evolution to become more of what we value and what we bring to it. Because don't underestimate the impact that you have on the world. Your individual gifts, your individual essence, your individual humanity, your individual experiences, your individual soul imprint is not like any other, and we need every single one of you to allow yourself to be the way that you are, because we've never seen anything like it. A perspective that seems completely normal to you might be a revelation in somebody else's life. Like, I'm sharing this information in this moment partially because it's related to a question that was asked when I shared on the community, but also because it's the information that's coming through me that I'm learning in my own life. So even though it's like kind of normal for me to be learning these things, perhaps what I'm sharing is something that you're not aware of or that you've never heard. Or perhaps you have, and I'm giving a different way of looking at it. So I'd really love to hear like how you're vibing with this video, and if you have any insights about this topic, anything you'd like to share, I would love to hear from inside of you and how you see with your life experience. Which brings me on to the last example that I'm going to use today. So, I am whole and complete as I am versus needing others. So, I am whole and complete as I am. I don't need people. I am fine alone. Versus, I need people. I need people. I'm not okay as I am, to the exclusion of this wholeness. And so what is the possibility in between? And of course, again, it's okay to go through moments of avoidance, and it's okay to go through moments of dependence. Each one is super important. This is why we're not excluding either one. There's the possibility to bring them together to support interdependence, so that the strengths from avoidance and the strengths of attachment, or the strengths of independence and the strengths of interdependence can come together and create symbiosis. And even in an interdependent experience, it's possible to have a moment where more independence is needed, and it's possible to have a moment where more dependence is needed. And in this recognition that it's possible to be whole the way that you are, and to need people and other beings in symbiotic relations, it's possible for all of those things to exist, and for us to not have to isolate ourselves or to suffocate each other. It's possible to find a balance. Also, maybe it's possible to get to a point in your spiritual process where you genuinely transcend the need for human connection. But I personally am not at that point. And so I'm saying what I and probably a lot of other people on the planet are at the point where we do on some level need each other. It's beautiful to support each other, and I don't know about you, but I didn't come down to planet Earth to not connect with people. I came here to have people included in my experience. I came here to have beings included in my experience. I'm personally not interested in trying to prove anything about how well I can do it alone, or how much I need people to be ashamed of this. Like, no, it's like I have needs inside of me for each of these parts. Sometimes I need space, and sometimes I need people, and sometimes I need to exist in a space that's somewhere in between that has space for all of this. So the main solution that I'm bringing forward to share with you in life today is inclusivity, and recognizing that there are really important informations and needs in every aspect of us, in every teaching, in our mind, in our emotions, in our experience, in our teachings, in our learnings. But I invite you to be aware of the unconscious demonization or rejection or judgment or denial or exclusion of something, because everything, every aspect of existence has a consciousness. So when we are pushing against something like that, it's causing conflict and it's causing some kind of pain. When we bring unconditionality into the experience, it's allowing everything to exist that does exist. Because what other possibility is there? What other peaceful possibility is there? And that everything is allowed to be the way that it is, and is allowed to evolve and is allowed to stay stuck. Like also rejection and denial and all of these things, they're allowed to exist. So to take a step back and look at all of what is here is quite a complicated thing that is going on. But unconditionality is supporting, listening is supporting, communication is supporting all of these parts of existence to be able to share information and to understand what is the best course of evolution to support the highest loving good of all parts of existence. Let's breathe. Seems like a good moment for breathing. So inclusivity consciousness seems like the opposite of exclusion. And on some level, maybe it is, but allowing inclusion and exclusion to exist gives the possibility for unconditionality, which is a way of inclusion that is beyond inclusion and exclusion. It's more a recognition that everything is a part of existence and that it's possible to observe what is working, what is causing harm, and to make adjustments, but not through force, through tenderness and through communication, through listening, through receiving, through experimenting, through flow, through your individual way of bringing improvement as we evolve, your individual way of sharing information, your individual way of receiving information. Everyone is adaptable. I am adaptable. I am constantly changing and flowing in every moment. Even in moments where I'm allowing myself to be exactly the way that I am, there are parts of me that are changing even while that's happening. There is a part of us that maybe it's unchanging, the deepest part of the being that is unmanifested. And at the same time, there is an aspect of us that is dynamic and that is focusing God knows how many realities, and it's always changing. And so I hope that in this moment you manage to receive something from this video that supports you to connect with some peace or an aha moment or an idea of something you want to try or something like this. Like whatever you'd like to take from this video, have it. And whatever you're not sure about or you would like to leave, it's okay to just observe it. You don't have to take that into your heart. It's up to you. But if you would like to take everything into your heart, I give it to you. From my heart to yours. Also, I'm going to take this into my heart when I watch it in a minute, because as per usual, I've hardly got a clue what I've even said because I was flowing. But yeah, I've enjoyed that video. It challenged me, it scared me, it confronted me, it excited me, it surprised me, all of these things. So thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please do show some love and give the video a like. Comment down below to let me know what you are vibing inside after watching this video. Let me know what's flowing through you. I'd love to hear from you, and I appreciate all of the support that I'm always getting on my channel. Subscribe if you have not already, and turn on the notification bell so you know when I post more soul freedom harmony content. please do check out my juicy link tree in the description box and in the comments section, whatever. I do have new music out, and I do have many interesting things on my Patreon, such as affiliate marketing, digital products, other social media. Like, if you're enjoying my content, check it out because the rabbit hole continues. If you have any video ideas of what topics you'd like me to cover, please do let me know, because I liked receiving this idea from the outside and then mixing it with what's happening in me and sharing something that it seems that we both want to hear. So yeah, like for me, it's to have a balance between what I want to share and what you want to receive, and to come up with some kind of third option that feels like love, that feels like the highest loving good for all involved and that in it. So take really good care of yourself in the best way that you can. And if you can't, be careful. Also, if you're having a rough time, please do speak to a friend, or please do involve medical services if it is like an emergency. Also, please do get in contact with me via Patreon, via the comments, or for a one-to-one session through Patreon or something like this. It is possible to access the support that you need, and if you're struggling to find it, I hope that my channel can serve as a beginning point. And if you do feel like you have no one to talk to, then I invite you to open up in the comments. I invite you to come join us on Patreon. I invite you to have a one-to-one session with me, and we can share, and I can be a presence for you and offer my experience and my gift in the way that I do and the way that I can. And if it's really urgent and you have no one around and you're concerned about yourself, then please do, if necessary, contact medical services and get some professional help, even just as a temporary solution or bridge for you finding people to connect with. Also, if you are interested in connecting with people in a deep way, especially if you feel like that's something that's lacking in your life, there are also retreats that I'm a part of, and this aspect of that, the human connection, has really changed my life. So if you're interested in that specifically, then please do send me an email and we can talk about that, because what you need, it does exist. Sometimes it's just a matter of somehow coincidentally ending up in a particular place at a particular time and just receiving the information and seeing a possibility that you never saw before. So yeah, waffle over, take care, and bye for now. Namaste.